having me on, Kevin.
Absolutely. Thank you so for being here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking to Tracy about your money, your business, your future, and your success today. So we're going to have a great time talking about all this good stuff. She's going to explain it later. And we're going to talk to you so we got some great questions for her today as well. But Tracy, as you know, there's a lot going on the planet right now. And people say, well, can I just hear somebody say something nice to me today or something? So can you say a few words of encouragement for our people that are listening live right
Yes.
now and those listening later on? Thank you so much, Tracy.
Absolutely. Life is tough. If you're facing a difficult season, whether it's
Yeah,
raising children or
yeah,
running a business or being a husband or wife, just keep pressing forward. Don't give up.
yeah.
God is faithful. One day you'll look back and realize, hey, all of this happened for
Right.
a reason. Sometimes things
Yeah,
happen in
yeah,
our life and we don't realize till later, hey, this was meant to be. It caused a great outcome, that you didn't
yeah.
prepare. So,
Absolutely. I love it, Tracy. Thank you so much for that. And Tracy, as you know, the word of God even talks about this. People, God leaves us clues, right? On not to be worried about nothing because he's in charge. He said these are light afflictions. Everything we're going through is light afflictions compared to the glory to come. Isn't that powerful? I get excited about that. So when you compare it to the glory to come, this is really nothing. Not to minimize what people go through, of course. I'm just saying that one day you're gonna not even remember none of this. So
yeah, and the
it's
worry of the world, right? A lot of things
gonna
we
be
worry
gone.
about
It's
doesn't
gonna
even
be gone.
happen. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be
yeah,
gone because God's gonna take care of business and everything's gonna be the way He originally wanted it anyway. Until we got COVID.
absolutely. So very
Amen.
true.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Hey guys, thank you so much. I want you guys to pay attention to Tracy today, guys. She's got some powerful stuff for all my business owners and even for the entrepreneurs that are coming up too. Tracy, you're going to help them out as well. But guys, before we get started, I want to give you some background on this wonderful person, ladies and gentlemen. And she started with Elite Supplemental Benefits nearly 10 years ago to help employers offer meaningful supplemental benefit options to their employees. So I want all my LinkedIn and Alignable and all my business groups, if you will, all across the globe. I want you guys to pay attention because she's going to help you out tremendously here in a second. So, guys, also too, her work has focused on helping business strengthen their benefit packages. That's very important today, Tracy. And educating their employees, of course, and look for ways to reduce costs. Guys, all y'all in business, everybody's looking to reduce costs, as you know, Tracy. You got to do that, folks. You got to cut costs, but also increase profits, not only for your business, but for your employees, because every now and then you got to give them some raises, or at least you want to, I'm sure. So Tracy, ladies and gentlemen, about 4 years ago, she also became a financial advisor, which expanded her work beyond the workplace benefits into a broader financial protection and planning. That's very key today, as Tracy's going to share with you guys. You've got to protect your assets, you got to protect your future, you got to protect your business, ladies and gentlemen. Today, she helps individuals and business owners look at life from an insurance standpoint, disability protection. Oh man, that's a big one there. Retirement planning, that's another big one. Employee benefits, tax strategies, very key, and ways to protect what they have worked hard to build. Because as you know, Tracy, some of my listeners, man, that's all they do is their business is what they do. They go to work to their business. And so it's very important that they be successful, not only for themselves, but for their family as well. No doubt about that. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Tracy's phrase that ties it all together is for individuals, I look at risk for employers, and I look at both risk and waste, both effective to the bottom line. So Tracy, thank you so much for joining me on Power Connections with Kevin Vaughan. Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time today. Wow,
Thank you
incredible.
so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Well, Tracy, we're going to jump right in it because we're going to be here. We're going to be here under an hour because I want to make sure I can post this everywhere on the planet as well. But let's get started, Tracy, if you don't mind. First of all, Tracy, how's your day? How's your week going thus far? Let's talk about that real quick.
It's been really good. It's good.
Yeah.
Life doesn't slow down. I heard a funny quote and it says, if the devil can't make you sin, he'll make you busy, right? So it's
Yeah.
important to take a little downtime as well. So I've been working on that,
Yeah.
but Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, enjoy your wonderful lives, folks. And that's one of my pillars is you got to have fun. You got to have fun throughout your
Hmm.
process. Take a vacation. Matter of fact, I'm overdue on a cruise. I need to take a cruise real quick as soon as
Yeah.
possible just to get out the
Overdue.
town.
That's never good. You got to get that off the checklist. Priority. Move it
Absolutely.
up the top, right? A little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Make some money, folks, but then take yourself on a cruise and then come back and make some more money. I love it. I
Absolutely.
love it. Well, Tracy, let's get started because she
Okay.
is one of the best in the planet. Tracy, I'm going to start off with, first of all, I want to let you flow any way you want. But my
Okay.
question today to Tracy, ladies and gentlemen, is financial protection and preparedness. What do you want to share with us in that area, please?
Yeah, so a lot of people think financial protection is about investments and retirement, but it's
Yeah.
also about preparing for things when they do not go according to plan. So,
Right.
some of those things may be life insurance, disability products, it does
Mhm.
include savings and retirement as well,
Yeah.
but also your workplace benefits if you are a W-2 and if
Right.
you own a business. There are
Mhm.
benefits to provide for your employees that do not cost the employer any money, but help with retention. So, those are some of the big things that I like to focus on. It's a whole picture because
Yeah.
the leading cause of bankruptcy today is medical bills. That's a huge thing on my heart because
Yeah.
people think they're fully protected at work with their health
Right.
insurance, but it's simply not true. So, I experienced this personally with a family member, so it opened my eyes to wow, the other things that are needed to protect your retirement and your assets are some supplemental plans. So, not just what your employer provides, but you can do some
Right.
things on your own as well.
Absolutely. And Tracy, one thing is so important. We have to read stuff, man. Tracy, we have to read our contracts. What are your medical benefits? All the above. People, we have to read your stuff. Read
Yeah.
what you have because you may not have enough, or you may have enough. You just need to know that. You don't want no surprises when when the emergency arises or the need arises. Tracy, can you talk a little bit about how people need to just understand what they have so they can update what they need maybe through your services as well?
Yeah, so the big thing is all your stuff in order. Everybody thinks, "Oh, I have
Yeah,
plenty of time," right? But do you have
right,
a will? Do you need
right,
an estate plan? And it depends on what's
yeah,
going on in your world. If you do you have a
yeah,
living will? Like, do you want
right,
somebody to make decisions for you if you're unable to? Do you have life insurance outside of your employer? A lot of people don't realize if I leave my employer, that insurance does not go with me a lot of times. So
right,
you got
right.
to think about all these things. Review your benefits with your employer annually. I found a book on Amazon that's just called Life, and it has a section,
Yeah,
it's a binder prepped for you where you can put your
yeah,
life insurance,
yeah,
disability coverage. Do you have that through your employer? If not,
right,
you can get that on your own because heaven forbid you cancer or something happens to you and you're unable to work. I mean, it's a difficult situation if you're married and you lose 50% of your income, but if you're single, then that
yeah,
involves a whole nother thing. Then you have nothing.
yeah,
So it's just kind of looking at everything all together and
yeah,
making set a time once a year just to look at all your
yeah,
policies and everything you have and are you fully covered. For your kids, think about
yeah,
that. They're young, encourage
yeah,
them to get life insurance. I just wrote a couple of policies for my nieces and nephews that are in
yeah,
their 20s that
yeah,
will grow to a couple million its whole life because it's so
yeah,
affordable when you're young. But
right,
a lot of people don't share that because a lot of
right,
families don't know about it. So
yeah,
just look into
yeah,
that and kind of know what you have
yeah,
and help
yeah.
take care of your kids so
I
as
love
well.
it. I love it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much if you're just joining us and talking to Tracy Ford, ladies and gentlemen. She is a powerful, powerful financial advisor. Ladies and gentlemen, she's also a Summit Point Financial Group, part of that as well. And she's a wonderful, wonderful mentor in this area as well to help you plan well. I was just thinking about that, Tracy, that most of my clients around the country or around the world are need to have a plan. That's the key right there. And I don't know, Tracy, we got to talk about this offline, but we need to have a checklist for people. People need a checklist.
Absolutely,
We need a
for
checklist
sure.
that you approve. We're going to talk about that later. But I want to be able to produce a checklist that we send it out and then they can get
Yep.
back with you on the details. But they need to know what they need to do. I think people just don't know or have a system in place so they can be prepared for life, if you will, whether
That's
it's a business or general. So we'll talk about that a little later
okay.
on as
That
well.
sounds great.
I love it. Well, I tell you, Tracy, we have a lot of CEOs, a lot of presidents and company owners and people who have, 25, 30 employees or more in their businesses right now. What's some of the top issues today? Because our landscape of business is changing, as you know. So
Yes.
what's some of the top areas you think we need to consider today?
So, in addition to health insurance, I do not offer health insurance. I just come in and fill in the gaps in between that. But as an employer, you can, pay for supplemental benefits in
Yeah,
addition to healthcare, or there's a program through the Affordable Care Act through Section
yeah,
125 where
hmm
they can fund benefits for the employees without costing them
yeah,
anything, which is huge because a lot of employees want a cancer plan or they want something,
right,
but they literally can't afford to have that
yeah,
coverage. So,
right,
as a business owner, it's good to look at the whole package. Is your life
hmm
insurance portable? If not, where do I
yeah,
get that? How do I
yeah,
take care of my employees? A lot of people or a lot of business owners, I've heard people file workman comp claims
yeah,
because they get injured on the weekend, not on us, but hey,
right,
life, if you have no money, you come into work on Monday, you file a workman comp claim. If they had an accident plan and they were going to get three to six to $10,000, they
yeah,
probably wouldn't file that. So it's
right,
just looking at the whole package. What do you offer? What could you add that maybe you hadn't thought of that employees would
right,
be appreciative of? Because that,
yeah,
it's not just about what you pay your employees, it's about the whole benefit package
right,
as well. And, as a financial advisor, do you
yeah,
have a 401k? Are you aware of the tax credits that you can get by implementing one of those? So there's just a lot that we don't have time to go into for sure,
right,
but
right.
it's just meeting with somebody, a business consultant that can help you look at all of that as a whole
Absolutely.
package.
I love it. Matter of fact, I want to do Tracy right now a little commercial break. Somebody says, okay, I know what I need. How can I get in touch with you? Let's talk about that very quick because people need to call you this week and get an appointment and get more information. But Tracy, let's go ahead and do a commercial break. How can folks contact you or follow you on social media?
Yeah, so you can reach out my cell phone call, or text. It is 816-406-8181. And, I have a couple of businesses, so a few emails. I have a separate financial advisor email, but it's Summit Point Financial Group. I have a great team there of
Yeah,
8 advisors that help me that have been in the business for years, but that is in Lee Summit, Missouri. I'm based out of Kansas City. And
yeah,
then my elite supplemental benefits is the benefit side. So, yeah, I just try to get it
yeah,
all together. I don't really have one email, but the best thing, reach out via phone. I
yeah.
have a Calendly. We can set up a meeting, whether
Right,
you want estate planning, whether you
right.
want,
Yeah,
investments, 401k benefits for your
yeah.
business. So yeah, that's how I would say just reach out and I'll coordinate a time to meet with you individually, either in person or via Zoom.
Fantastic. And guys, anybody listening out there, business owners, if you got any problem getting in touch with Tracy, just let me know. I'll forward the information over to her as well directly. Tracy, I'll just think about while you was talking, we have a lot of graduates, right? Coming out of college. They're
Mhm.
brilliant, smart. They want to start their own business. Some of them can't find jobs, so they're going to go to business mode as well. Can you talk to our young entrepreneurs, business owners? They want to start their own business, have a couple of employees maybe, but once they get the right funding, all that. Could you talk to them how important it is for them to talk to you as well on their planning for their business and future?
Absolutely. I mean, I've heard the saying, youth is wasted on the young, right? What if we could go back with the knowledge that we have now and be 18, 19, 20,
Yeah,
21? But one of the big pieces of advice I would say would be get a
yeah.
personal relationship with your banker. Because,
Ah,
if you don't do that, then a lot of people will search for money when it's too late, when they need
right.
funding and they put it on credit card. But if you have a personal relationship, that
hmm
is huge with a banker. They get to know you, and you can
Yeah,
oftentimes get short-term working capital
right.
because of that relationship and know your goals. So a lot of
Yeah,
people don't do that these days. They don't
right.
sit down and go into a bank. It seems like an older person thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it is very vital to have a personal relationship with a banker would be one of
yeah,
the big things. And
yeah,
just all the paperwork that's needed around your business. Make sure it's set up
yeah,
properly. You don't want to
yeah.
get in trouble with the IRS, right?
Nope.
There's a lot of things to do.
Yeah,
Contact my best friend is a CPA in St. Louis, and I've
Yeah.
learned so much through
Yeah.
her.
Absolutely.
The audits are a terrible thing. So you just want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row and
Right.
saving your receipts. So there's a lot involved,
Yeah.
but I think it's great for young people. The tax advantages of owning your own
Yeah.
business are
Right.
incredible.
Right.
But you'll never work as hard for anyone else as you do for yourself. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're self-employed. You get weekends off." I'm like, "What?" Very rarely. I also need that cruise, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I haven't went on vacation in a while because it's your name that's on the line if
Yeah.
something doesn't go
Yeah.
properly. So
I
that would
love
be
it.
my advice for young people.
Oh, I love it, Tracy. Thank you so much. Yeah, Tracy, because what you're doing as a financial advisor, you're literally in somebody's life. I mean, literally, you're helping people's lives, not only for themselves, but for their family. So you got to know what you're doing. You got to be attentive to details and so forth as well for them. So I understand what you're saying about your time, but people need you out there. When they need you, especially if they're
Right.
hiring you to talk, come in and talk as well about that. I was just thinking about our young people, they just need some help. You just need to understand that. And there's so many benefits for starting your own business, but you got to have a good guide. And that's where Tracy Ford comes in at, guys. You got to have a financial advisor that's going to set you up properly, not only for yourself, but also for your employees as well. I love it. I love it. In fact, I
And
was just
Kevin,
thinking,
just one more
yeah,
thing on the guide. I
yeah,
encourage
yeah.
everybody to get a mentor as well.
Oh, good
Somebody that
one.
has been in your shoes or there where you want to
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
There's a lot of networking groups that will
yeah,
do that for free as well. You
yeah.
don't always have to pay for that.
Right.
But there are prosperity mentor coaches, there are
Yeah,
people that show you how to make a profit in your business. So
yeah.
there's
Good
a
point.
lot of tools out there that people don't
Oh,
necessarily know about, but wisdom
yes,
learned from older
yes,
adults. When I was
yes,
young, I did not
yes.
think that that was true, right?
Nope.
But
Nope. Didn't
you can
think
learn
about it.
so much from somebody that has walked in your shoes.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that, Tracy, because that's one of my pet areas. You got to have a mentor, ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
And I don't care what age you are, right? I don't care what age you are. You need to go to the best person in your city, right? Or
Mhm.
state or whatever, and say, can you mentor me? And they will say probably yes. If they can't, that's okay. But you find somebody, okay? There's enough people on the planet where you can get one mentor for sure. But Tracy, that is so important, especially for our young adults coming into the business of business, if you will. They don't know what they don't know, and you can't get it
Right.
all off of YouTube or TikTok. Okay, believe me, you cannot do that. So
However, there are some really cool things that you can learn
oh
through
yeah,
it,
no doubt about it. But as far as the
But I agree
yeah, as
with you.
far as the
That is
structured business, I'm talking about a real structured business. You
no,
can learn from those things, but you got to have a Tracy Ford in your network and somebody who's on TikTok trying to tell you how to save tax money. I don't think so, unless you CPA.
no,
That's my
no.
point there. So you got to have people who know what they're talking about, folks. Not to say we can't learn from social media, but my point is, I want to know: are you certified? That's the first thing. If you're not certified, well, I'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of money coaches and things out there, but
Yeah.
do they have the licensing? Have they,
Thank
do they
you.
have the education to give you that advice?
Yeah.
And it's always good, to
Yeah.
get a second opinion in
Right.
everything.
Right.
Maybe have a couple
Exactly.
people look at what you're doing and give you
Yeah.
some honest feedback. Accountability
Absolutely.
is huge as well. Have
Yeah.
somebody that will hold you accountable to what your goals are and check in with you and through the mentoring.
Absolutely. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Tracy, I was just going to ask you, when somebody calls you, tell us that process. What happens when people contact you? What does that process look like? Is it a discovery call or a meet and greet? How does that all work, if you don't mind? When somebody calls you for an appointment and say, I need some help, what happens?
Yeah, it's a discovery call. It's a whole package. Do you own
Yeah.
your own business?
Gotcha.
If you own your own business, do you have a succession plan? If you're a W-2 employee, it's going to look
Hmm.
different versus a
Yeah.
business owner. So we look at the whole, like you had said,
Yeah.
it's financial protection and
Yeah.
awareness as an entire package, not just,
Hmm.
one or two things. So I have to get to know the person. It is,
Right.
financial advisor gets in your business a little bit,
Yeah.
your debt,
Yeah.
Let's
Right.
get that paid off. Let's look at that and figure out where are
Right.
you financially? What are your goals? So
Yeah.
I do have a pretty good checklist for that, but it depends on the age. If somebody's age close to retirement, that's a different discussion. Do you have final protection in place?
Yeah.
Have you looked at protecting your spouse? I had a really good friend that her husband died young in his
Mhm.
40s, and they did not think that they needed
No.
life insurance. They thought they had forever. They were putting away a decent amount of money, but
Yeah.
with kids at home in high school, when he passed away, she's done it all on her own now, which is
Yeah.
incredible. So, yes, to
Right.
answer your question, Kevin, it's just more of a look at each individual because
Yeah.
everybody's so different. Some people will inherit a lot of money. Have you thought
Right.
about that?
Yeah.
Some people will inherit no money. Have you thought about that? So I
Mhm.
just sit down and figure out where you are in life and what your goals are, and then we develop a plan. And then the financial group that I work with, Summit Point, brilliant, brilliant
Yeah.
CFPs. I just became an advisor for, what, 5 years
Yeah.
ago now.
Yeah.
So I'm, not as advanced at these, but, we have hundreds of years of
Right.
experience at our firm, very qualified that dive
Yeah.
into the deeper stuff if that's needed as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm like you, Tracy. I got a lot of professional networks, man, that if I don't know, I'm going to ask them because they
Yeah.
certified, they got PhDs and all that training. I said, well, I don't know. Let me find out what they think, and they'll let you know real quick. So yeah, we got a tremendous professional network as you do as well. That's powerful. I love it. I love it. Hey guys, we're going to continue talking to Tracy. She's a financial advisor here, helping our business owners, employers, all the above, guys. You guys got to get this right because business is moving at the speed of sound today, folks, and you got to stay up to date. And Tracy's going to help you stay up to date on what's available, what you need, what you don't need, how to streamline your business, and so forth as well. But Tracy, let's talk about the common mistakes and solutions today that we business owners get into as well. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, so employees, we mentioned a little bit that they assume that they're fully protected through work. So
Yeah.
look to see, I met with a lady the other day. She's like, "Oh, my husband has 250,000 life insurance at work." I said, "Go
Right.
back and ask if it's portable."
Okay.
Meaning, can it go with you? And it could not, so
Oh,
she's like, "Oh my gosh, we need to get life insurance outside of
there
work."
you go. Good
So
question.
you can get
Yeah.
individual through, someone like me, a financial advisor, to cover that.
Hmm.
And then, like we mentioned, know what your benefits are. Don't
Yeah.
just look at price, look at
Right.
what are
Right.
your risks.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your health risk too? That also
Right.
plays. If you've had cancer in your family, the chances of you getting it are higher.
Right.
And then just as an older adult, sometimes, buying life insurance is, very costly, but there are
Hmm.
alternatives. You can get term insurance, you
Yeah.
can do the estate plan to prepare for all that. If your spouse dies, there's life insurance that is survivorship. So the one that
Yeah.
survives gets the policy. Even if one of the people are unhealthy, you can get a
Yeah.
policy where you're both insured, but normally maybe they wouldn't qualify on their own, but you can get
Right.
a policy with the both of you. So
Yeah.
whoever passes away, it goes to the other
Yeah.
person. So yeah, some of the other common mistakes, business owners often focus on revenue and other thing they forget, where is other money leaking out? So I'm an
Hmm.
affiliate with another company that looks at your business
Yeah.
expenses and can come in
Yeah.
and only charge you for those savings if there are savings involved. Everything from construction to utilities. People
Hmm.
do not realize, it's called group purchasing, as group
Hmm.
purchasing is the term in the industry, but everything from nursing homes, linens,
Hmm.
medical
Hmm.
supplies, construction, and how it works is if you save money, they split the
Hmm.
cost with you. So if you're building a $10 million apartment complex and you
Right.
save 30%, you just split that 30%. So you're still saving, at $10 million at 30%. That's a huge chunk of money. So there are
Right.
a lot of different avenues. As we age, we learn a lot more. more, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that can help business owners. So
Yeah.
that would be the most common mistakes that I see. Just watch your money where it's
Yeah.
leaking, and have you looked
Yeah.
at your benefits as an employer?
Right. Right.
Is it the
Yeah.
best in the industry? Because honestly, I go into a lot of businesses and they may offer one company for supplemental benefits. Well,
Yeah.
it may not be the best. They may do a
Right.
great job at advertising, but I
Right.
come in and look and say, okay, this is a great company, but there's also guaranteed issue with other companies. Even if you've
Mhm.
had cancer, you can get coverage. So you
Yeah.
got to look at all of that as a business owner, and just you don't have to replace anything. No brokers, no benefits. If you love your insurance broker, just
Right.
bring somebody like me in to look at what you're offering, and is there something that I'm not offering that I
Right.
should be offering? Because
Right.
sometimes you just, as a, business owner, you're so busy working in your business that you
Right.
forget those things that
Right.
maybe there's better stuff out there. So that's where I come in. I take the heavy
Yeah.
lifting off the business owner. I look at
Yeah.
your package, and if it's the best of the best, I'll tell you. But as my dad always said, if your baby's ugly, I'll tell you too.
I know, man. You can help put some makeup on it or something, you know? I love it. I love it. Well, Tracy, I was thinking as you was talking here, because we're talking to business owners around the globe, specifically in the domestic area, the United States. But what our businesses should be evaluated periodically. Do not wait a whole year, right, to evaluate your needs, right? Can you talk
Absolutely.
about that a little bit? I think it's every quarter you should probably evaluate all these services. Is that correct, or whatever? What's the best
Yeah.
method for us to do that? Evaluate ourselves.
Honestly, if most enrollments are once a year, and I would do it semi-annually if you
Okay.
can.
Okay.
The other big thing that I've brought into business owners that they really like, offer health insurance at one time of
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
your supplemental at a separate time of year,
Yeah.
because it can
Yeah.
be overwhelming for employees
Yeah.
for it to all be offered at the same time. But yes, you need
Right.
to review that, but you as the business owner, go find someone like me that will help look at your 401k, look at your benefits.
Yeah.
Is it the best? You
Right.
don't have to do all the heavy lifting. When I
Right.
enroll my companies, I say, I'm going to take the burden off of you. You're going to have
Yeah.
to put the deductions in your payroll, but I
Yeah.
am going to do the research. I'm going to bring you a proposal and show this is what you're offering, but this is what you could offer for
Right.
less money or more
Right.
benefits. So it's not always about cost either. There's a lot of
Right.
different things to consider. But yes, if you can get around to it a couple of times a year to look through what you're offering. And the other thing I would encourage, ask your employees. A lot of times I have a company I service right now that they have 350 employees. They have been asking for disability coverage forever. The employer
Mhm.
doesn't know that the employees can pay for it themselves, but they haven't implemented it. So
Right.
interview your employees and say, what can I give you that you don't have? I have a
Yeah.
hospital that I take care of that does not offer hospital coverage. So
Mhm.
you interview your employees, say, what do we not offer that you would like for us to, as far
Yeah.
as benefits and additional things that will help you out in life? Because you never know when tragedy's
Nope.
going to strike. You just don't.
Absolutely. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Tracy Ford, financial advisor, about your business, guys. It's very serious. You guys are going to have to evaluate your business on a periodic basis. I highly recommend you contact Tracy as soon as possible, guys. Get your evaluation there, and just do your discovery call with her as well. Hey, as we move on, guys, we're talking to Tracy about building a legacy and financial security. We've been kind of talking about that a little bit already. But Tracy, what about that area? Building my legacy and financial security. How important are these two areas? I would think.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is
yeah,
huge. A
yeah,
lot of people, excuse me, real quick.
yeah, that is
A
huge.
lot of people think, that legacy is for wealthy families, but
Right.
that's not necessarily true.
Nope. That's
You
right.
need to build a legacy for your family. So, which includes things like don't leave your family with a bunch of debt.
Yeah.
Make sure that, you have enough money to take care of your funeral expenses. 25,000 to 30 to be buried these days. People don't
Yeah.
even think about that.
Nope.
That's a lot of money. Cremation is even like 7,000, but
Oh, yeah, it's going to go
even
up. Yeah. Supply and demand thing.
right.
It's going to go up, unfortunately, but that's just the
Boy,
way it is.
that's true.
Yeah.
And things like, you just want to relieve financial stress for your family.
Yeah.
If something happens to you, you want to take that burden off of them. But like we talked about, legacy
Yeah.
is can be life insurance depending on your age, your retirement plans,
Yeah.
beneficiary planning. Do you have all those ducks in a row? If something were to happen to you. Disability is huge. You can get
Hmm.
disability insurance if you were either to get injured physically or
Hmm.
become sick. Um, for business owners, legacy is just protecting your business. Um,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
you have somebody that can take over if something were
Right.
to happen to you? And
Right.
I find a lot of small business owners just do it all themselves,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
take a weekend here and there. I try to take once a quarter, just a weekend, and look at everything and go, okay, what
Yeah.
areas am I lacking? What's my game
Right.
plan to get that taken care of?
Yeah. Yeah.
For
Good plan.
business owners, it's just employee retention,
Yep.
key
Yep.
person protection, those sort of things. Cost control, as I mentioned, there are ways
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
reduce your costs that you spend outgoing as a business owner. So,
Oh, I love
through
it.
the Affordable Care Act, that Section 125. If you just look it up, there's some negative press on it, but it has to be implemented legally in the
Right.
correct way. I had my best friend CPA vet it before I started
Right.
taking it on. Also, because I'm a financial advisor, I'm held to a
Yeah.
higher standard. But so there's
Right.
some wrong ways and right ways to do things. So make
Right.
sure that you're following.
Yep.
Um, the what needs to be done. But yeah, as far as legacy for your employees, strong benefit package helps them. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's you need to not just look at your wealth or think that wealthy people are the only people.
Right.
It's your kids and your grandkids. Have you
That's
thought
right.
about setting up an investment for them, a
Right.
529 plan for college?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
UTMA. So all those things, there are so many things out there that you can do, but that's the importance of having wise people speak into
Right.
your life that can help you with different avenues. There's not one person that does it
Right.
all. And I have a lot of people I refer out to if I don't handle one area that,
Right.
like in estate planning. I don't
Mhm.
personally do that. We have an attorney in our firm
Yeah.
that handles the estate planning. So
I
you
love
need
it.
to be with somebody that you trust is the
Yeah.
biggest
Yeah.
thing.
Right. Right.
Do you feel comfortable talking about your
Yeah.
money and your legacy and what you're going to leave for your kids and
Yeah.
your grandkids? And,
Yeah.
you have to be a pretty open book. So you want that person to have integrity and be honest and what are their
Right.
values. And I
Yeah.
tell people, don't go with the first financial advisor that you meet. Interview a few and see who
Right.
do I feel
Right.
comfortable. Ask some difficult
Yeah.
questions, you
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely, Tracy. I love it. And get their bio, folks. Get their bio, their resume, background check, whatever you got to do. Seriously, because
Yes.
people will say they're a certain person, and you find out later they got all your money, and you can't find them, of course, later, because we didn't do our research, Tracy. So, guys, that's why it's important to know a Tracy Ford, so you can put your eyeballs on her, and you can meet her, talk to her, Zoom her in, whatever. But you can also follow up with her, and meet. I think it's so important, Tracy, where you have to be able to put your eye. If you're in a certain city, your financial advisor could be in your city, but you need to meet with them, right? Meet with them, and so
Right.
put eyeballs to eyeballs, because this is some serious stuff, folks. Folks have lost millions, as you know, over the years because of fraud, as you know, because we've been so trustworthy.
Absolutely.
So, and matter of fact, we got to talk to our seniors a little bit, if you don't mind, Tracy. Talk to our
Sure.
seniors who are in business right now as well. Can you talk to them a little bit? We got to help protect them too.
Yeah, absolutely. So for seniors, it depends on the age, but
Yeah,
there's advisors out there for Medicare.
yeah,
What do you need for that? There's so many different plans. I have a great friend that's
right,
navigating that right now.
yeah,
Make sure that you know what your options are for that. You don't
yeah,
want to be
yeah,
left holding the bag on something. Oh, I wish I would have done A, B, or
right,
C.
right,
But yeah, just for the older adults, that's some of the thing. Final expenses, having
yeah,
your will and your living
yeah,
will in
yeah,
place, a trust in
yeah,
place. If you want to say, if you have a lot of money you're passing down, you can establish a trust and say,
yeah,
Sally can use this money to buy a house or for
right,
college.
right,
Otherwise, she
right,
does not get the money till she's 50, right? A lot of
right,
people put a beneficiary on their 401k. Well, if they pass away early and an 18-year-old inherits that money, Is
Yeah.
that going to be spent in a good way? You know,
Right.
probably not without some
Right.
guardrails, you
That's
know.
right.
It's
Right.
because you love them that you put those guardrails in place, you know, but you can also say certain things. Marriage, you could give money
Yeah.
for marriage, but you can kind
Yeah.
of not, I don't want to
Yeah.
say control from the grave, but a
Oh,
little bit.
no,
Like, I
it's
don't
good
want it
planning.
to,
Yeah,
yeah, good
it's good
planning.
planning. That's all it is, folks. It's not controlling nobody. We don't want you to run out of money in a week. You just, I gave you, I gave you 200,000 and you gone. It's gone in a week. That don't make no sense, does it, folks? And that's what we don't want. We want you to be a little wiser with the money that you've been inherited. But
Yes.
but if I don't do it, if I don't put it in there, that's on me. It ain't on them. So if my son and daughter want to, waste it, that's I didn't tell them not to. So, so
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
yeah. So
Exactly. Well,
yeah,
and Kevin, one more thing for the older adults that
yeah,
I think is important to point out as far as your investments and
yeah.
what you're doing. Like now, if you pass on money, that has to be taken out and paid taxes within 10 years. It did not used to be that way. So,
Right.
what are
That's
some options for them? Are there other
yeah,
avenues that, you know, we can invest and talk about before I pass away? What can I start doing
yeah.
with that money ahead of time to avoid
Yeah.
not illegally, but legally be
Right.
tax aware? And that's where
Right.
a really good financial advisor comes into place.
Yes.
And that's, you know, why I have my whole team of consultants because it's, you
Yeah.
know, there
Right.
is so much knowledge with a lot of different people feeding
Yeah.
into, oh,
Yeah.
I think this would be a good idea, you know.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. I love it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, talking to Tracy Ford, financial advisor on Power Connections with Kevin Vaughan. Tracy, I wanted to give that commercial break again because people need to know how to get in touch with you. She's on Alignable and also on LinkedIn as well, folks. But Tracy, give folks who want to set up an appointment with you this week. Please give out that contact information where you like.
Yeah, you can reach me at 816 is my cell phone, 816-406-8181. Feel free to shoot me a text or leave me a voicemail. I'll get back with you and set up an appointment. If you're a business owner, my contact is Tracy at Elite Sup, as in supplemental, elitesupbenefits.com. And then for financial advisor, it's Summit Point Financial Advisors in Lee Summit, Missouri. You can reach me on the same phone number as well.
Yeah.
So just depending on what avenue you're looking at, but the same phone number, 816-406-8181, goes to the cost savings for the business,
Hmm.
financial advisor, and benefits. So I wear a lot of hats, but it all ties together as far as, you know, your financial protection,
Yeah.
legacy, you know, having
Yeah.
everything prepared and you don't want to leave your family with a mess, you know,
Right.
when you die. Passwords, are those somewhere where everybody
Yeah, I
can
know.
live?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
Yeah. Yeah,
those little
exactly. That's
things.
powerful. It's all of this is planning, guys. It's great planning, good planning for you, for your family members. That's all it is. It's a plan, folks. You don't want to end up in probate court. I understand for any of this. You can eliminate a lot of that if you have a financial advisor that's going to help navigate your future as well. I love it. Thank you so much, Tracy, for that. Tracy, let's talk about this bad boy. What's this all about here? Save money on your bills you already pay. What's that all about?
Yeah, so recently I partnered with a company that offers business savings. So
Yeah.
they have $1 billion worth of purchasing power.
Okay.
So meaning that they are contracted with vendors, and if you buy more, obviously you get more savings. So they can do everything from office supplies, you know,
Mhm.
if
Oh,
construction material, let's look at what you're
wow.
spending on that. A lot of
Yeah.
times you don't even have to change vendors. It's just
Right.
that the purchasing power is so huge. So you come in and save on your office supplies, or, you know, I have
Wow.
a couple of people that are building large construction homes and they're
Yeah.
saving on
Yeah.
kitchens, countertops.
Right.
Because obviously if you buy in larger quantities, the savings
Right.
going to be better. So for me, this fits into everything because a lot of
Yeah.
business may be successful, but
Right.
money's leaking out where it
Right.
doesn't
Right.
have to leak out.
Right. Right.
At one point in my life, I just for an example of this, I was a trash girl. So I sold like compactors, dumpsters. It was amazing how many business owners, my job was to save the account. They might get a 2-yard dumpster for $79. In five
Right.
years, it's up to $600. They don't
Wow.
look at it. They
Right.
did not look at it. It's just slow increase over time. So have
Right.
somebody come in and look at your profit and loss. What are you paying? Are you
Yeah.
double
Yeah.
paying for subscriptions? And again,
Yeah.
on the savings side, it is huge. It is
Yeah.
huge. I
Yeah.
wish I would have found this earlier. I had no idea that you could save in everything
Yeah.
pretty much in your whole business. So how the
Yeah.
program works, Kevin, if you save $10,000, let's say in office supply, that's
Right.
split with the business owner.
Mm-hmm.
So the company keeps 5,000 of that, the business owner keeps 5,000 of that. So it doesn't come out of pocket. It's
Right.
you pay through it for your savings. So I don't know if you can see all the different categories up there, but
Yeah,
you can
I
read
got
those
a
if you
copy
would
here.
like. Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be great.
real quickly, guys. What this is showing here, it says no membership fee, no cost audit, no savings, no fee, years experience, of course. But we can save money on construction materials. You mentioned earlier, merchant processing, telecom or internet, phone, TV, electric, water, food services, guys. We got uniforms and linen, even cleaning supplies, office supplies, as she mentioned earlier, payroll services. Wow, shipping and freight stuff going out, right? Waste processing, insurance, alarm and security system, very important here. Medical supplies, paper shredding, and so much more. And again, you can get in touch with Tracy for more details. Powerful program, guys. Again, the whole purpose of business, as Tracy knows, is to make a profit, folks. But you got to know your profit and loss statement. You got to have that. Matter of fact, that's a we call microscope to your business. Really, you got to know what's going on. You got to know what's coming in, what's going out, and your expenses, folks. Very, very important. This is going to help you in that area. And Tracy can help you navigate that as well. Again, all for planning. We want you to be successful in your businesses, guys. That's the whole purpose of this. Be successful in your business, but you got to have a plan and you got to have the right advisor helping you navigate your one. Because I don't keep up to date on all this stuff, man, but Tracy does. So you call Tracy and get on the program, and you'll be fine. So you do that periodically, you'll be looking good. I think Tracy, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
I
having
love
those
it.
people in your corner. You don't want to do it all on
Yeah.
your own. So pass
Oh
it off to
no.
somebody
Yeah.
else. Like
Yeah.
you said, a checklist. Yeah, we'll
Yes.
develop
Yeah,
also
we gotta
those.
do that. Yeah, because I can get that out
That's a
easy.
great
And
idea.
yeah, we'll charge a minimal, like a couple of bucks or something, because we don't want to make it for
Yeah.
free. But you're gonna get a checklist that helps you navigate and have Tracy's number on there. You can call her. But we want you to think about these things, folks, because when it's too late, it's too late. When
Hmm.
the roof just blew off and you had no insurance, for the roof, being blown
Yeah.
off, things like that. So we're excited about helping you out as well. Hey, Tracy, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Tracy Ford. Tracy, give us some final thoughts, some takeaways, anything you want to that we missed maybe, but I want to give you some final thoughts as we get ready to wrap this bad boy up today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that make sure my battery wasn't running out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just some final thoughts. I think it's been a great discussion today, but it's also
Yeah.
a lot of information. So, get a mentor, find people that ask people you respect. Who do you use for
Yeah.
this? You can always obviously reach out to me, and if I'm not a
Right.
great fit, then I will tell you that. But I can work in any state. I'm located physically in Missouri, but
Right.
the big thing is
Yeah.
find somebody that you
Yeah.
connect with and look at your whole picture because, like I mentioned earlier, for instance, the
Yeah.
supplemental benefits are something in my heart because I've seen people drain their 401k paying for
Right. Right.
cancer treatment. A
Yeah.
bag of cancer treatments, 10 grand. It's
Yes.
crazy how much that costs. And you
Right.
end up, your major medical usually doesn't cover it all. So
Ooh.
then you drain your
Wow.
401k that you've worked all
Wow.
these years to save.
Ah.
But if you have disability and you have these other
Yeah.
insurance plans that are literally sometimes $8 a week, I tell people that are looking, I don't pressure you to buy. look
Right.
at look at it, and if it makes sense to you, purchase it. You can get
Yeah.
it for as little as $8 a week. How many times do we go in a convenience station and spend $8? Just
Easy.
like that, right?
Easy.
And it
Yep.
can be the difference between financial peace and security or absolute devastation.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Thank you so much, Tracy. Ladies and gentlemen, all my business owners around the globe, it's about planning. Really, it's about planning, knowing your business, but you got to have the right people. You got to have somebody who's certified as a financial advisor. You also have contacts in the other areas of services that you may need as well. All the above. That's where Tracy Ford. Tracy, if you don't mind, give that contact number again before we wrap up today. I love it.
absolutely. My cell phone is 816-406-8181, and you can just shoot me a message or leave a voicemail, and I will get back with you and set you up a Zoom meeting, send you a link that you can book on my schedule, a time that works for you. And we'll figure out what area, depending, are you young, are you old, a business owner,
Bye.
self-employed, W-2, there's different things to consider. And one more thing I want to point out, even if you
Yeah.
do not, like, if you're a W-2
Bye.
employee and they do not offer like
Bye.
disability or cancer or
Mhm.
life, find somebody like me that can write you a policy. I mean, I have
Yeah.
on my own, obviously I'm my own business owner, so I can't get
Yeah.
these benefits through an employer, but I have a cancer and heart plan that if
Right.
anything happens, it pays me instantly 50 grand on both, you
Right.
know? And I have that forever. So we're
Yeah.
all gonna
Yeah.
die of something, Kevin. It's just,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah. We're
good
all
to
going to
have
leave the
that.
planet. Yeah. We're all going
Yeah,
to leave the planet, but we got to plan well to leave the planet. I love it. Uh,
exactly.
Amen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, also, too, I got excited about our HR. All our HR, human resource presidents, vice presidents, all those people out there, you need to contact Tracy as well. All my HR people, contact Tracy, bring her in, interview her for your team there as well. I know HR is kind of a gatekeeper, really, aren't they? As you know, Tracy. So I love my HR people out there, all you guys out there who have employees, large businesses as well. You need to talk to Tracy. Bring her in. I'm sure you guys want to cut costs, maybe, or look at ways to evaluate your situation too as well. I'm sure your CEO and founder will be happy if you cut costs and still provide good services to the employee base there. So all my
Yeah,
HR people out there, contact Tracy and check her out. She's on LinkedIn. She's on also on Alignable, but she also gave her number out earlier. You can listen to this and get that information. Tracy, this has been great. Thank you so much. I'm a big planner. That's my background is planning, and I love solving problems, but you got to solve them with the right people and the right information.
absolutely. Yep, that's the key to
Amen.
everything, isn't it? Thank you so much for having me. It
Oh,
has
absolutely.
been a pleasure. That time just flew by,
Oh,
you
it
know?
always does. Yeah, we could talk easy for another half hour, but we don't want to bore the people too much. People just want information. Just tell me what I need to do, and I'll call you. You know.
Yep, that sounds
Yeah,
great.
amen. Amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to encourage you guys to share this out on all your social media platforms as well. It's for information. We got up and coming employees, employers, employees, and all these people. Ask questions. Get with your financial advisor. There's Tracy Ford right there. Her wonderful name is there. Again, she's on social media. If you got any problems getting in touch with her, let me know. I'll forward the information to you. Say, hey, I just want to get in touch with Tracy. Okay, I said, no problem. Give me your email address and phone number and name. We'll get that to Tracy ASAP. Okay, as well. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for your time today as well. Hold on as we follow up here and finish up today as well. Thank you so much for your time. Hey, guys, thank you for your time as well. And I want you guys to always do this. One of my mentors, Tracy, says, always remember to outlove, outserve, and outforgive each other. And remember, there's nothing you can't do with the right plan, folks. And that's where Tracy Ford comes in right there. Thank you so much for your time today, everybody. Y'all take care. And again, guys, do not forget to share this out to all your social media platforms. Matter of fact, Tracy, I looked up somebody, 74% of the planet is on the internet right now. 74%
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
planet is doing something online. That's why we're doing this, so we can get some of their attention today as well.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Been a true pleasure.
it's
Honestly,
amazing.
visiting
Yeah,
with
it's
you.
amazing. And as you know, everybody's on this thing right here called the smartphone. So they're probably listening there, but also they're going to respond from that as well. So I get excited because the phone is just such a great tool today, but it has to be used properly, as you know, because we can waste a lot of time doing nothing. So
Right.
yeah, we did something very productive today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited that Tracy was with us today. So guys, I want you to guys have a wonderful, wonderful day today, and continue to enjoy your wonderful life as well on top of that. So we're excited about what's happening and what you can do today as well. Hey guys, this has been Power Connections with Kevin Vaughan. I'm here to was here to help you out, guys, and get you fired up about what you're doing today. We thank you so much for your time today. And Tracy, have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week as well. God bless.
Thank you, sir. You too.
All right.
All right.
God bless
Bye-bye.
everybody. Take care, everybody.